So this is the new project boat. I found this boat online. It's a 2018 Clearwater 2300 boat. And as you can see, it needs tons of love. It has been sitting up for quite a while, out in the pasture, kind of rotting away. And I'm going to take you along on a journey to kind of revive it. As you can see, it is absolutely filthy. We're gonna really kind of do a deep dive in this process and hopefully bring this thing, as I mentioned before, back to life. I've been working with the Clearwater owner, Chad. He's a great guy. He's been helping me along in this process. I'm actually going up this weekend. As you can see right here, we're going to pick up some motors from him that'll match the boat. It's going to be really exciting to get to know that team and work with them directly, but we got tons of work. As you can see, we are missing tons of electronics there, and but the priority right now is really getting this thing looking good. This stuff right here is totally awesome, is the name of it, but it really is fantastic cleaner. Really cheap. You can get it at the dollar stores and whatnot. This is my engine flush kit. Got most of the power washing done. I've got a 50-50 mixture of bleach and a sprayer here. One thing that I've discovered is you don't want to put bleach on your upholstery. Not so much the upholstery, but the seams. It weakens it. But anyway, I'm going to spray this thing down. Let it sit pretty good and come back and hopefully get the rest of this white out. All right, so I got the first phase done. Of course, the first was hit it with some totally awesome. I went through the whole boat, got the bulk of the crud out. There's still some crud right there. I got the bulk of the crud out. If you remember the first part of this video, this thing was basically black, right? So there's some type of mold on the seats. As I mentioned before, it's really not a good idea to hit it with bleach, so I'm going to do some research to see what I can clean those seats off with. So this is the air intake track. It had, like I said, this was in Clearwater's manufacturing plant, and so there's quite a bit of fiberglass debris. So I'm going to take this air intake track off, clean it out really good, and reassemble. Aluminum, you don't want to go too aggressive. It doesn't take a ton to torque these things down, so you want to really feel it by hand. This tool is supposed to be less forceful on it. But I don't think it's the right tool for this job. As you're taking out spark plugs, probably the most important thing to do, maybe not so much on a marine engine, but a regular engine that has the propensity to go on dirt roads, you want to clean around the spark plugs just to get the possibility of any debris falling into the plugs out of the equation. So just take your air hose and just kind of blow. Well, we're wrapping up today. Somewhat productive day. I was hoping to get through a little bit more of the check off list than I got. Like I mentioned earlier, today I took off in celebration of my birthday, which was yesterday, Sunday. Today's Monday. I was able to do several things. One, got the trailer cap replaced, easy. Cleaned out the dirt on the intake. Checked the fluids, blew out the cylinders. The biggest thing I did was, mount the motors and, make sure they're sealed up. That took me a little bit longer. I did the first one mostly by myself, and my daughter's boyfriend showed up and helped out tremendously. Very grateful for that. So I was able to check that off. I am just going to keep running down this list until eventually gets together. Now this is just to get it to run. Then we got to do the kind of the fit and finish wiring and whatnot. But the tack, fuel management, and the key switch here. So this, like I mentioned before, this boat has been sitting up for quite some time, and just to be safe, I'm going to attempt to remove as much of the gas out of the tank as I possibly can. Honestly, the gas doesn't look all that bad. I'm still going to try to pump most of it out. Now, if you are scraping an old gasket, always scrape away from the opening. So this is the gas tank opening. Obviously, you don't want the debris to fall into it, so scrape away from it the best you can. So I got about 4 ounces Startron in here, which is a gas treatment, very similar to Stable, except it has some ethanol treatment built in. I'm not sure if Stable does or not. I drained probably 98% of the gas out. Cleaned the filler neck, sealed that off. So I'm going to put about 20 gallons back in and see if I'm going to put about 20 gallons back in and see if I can get this thing cranked up. But before I do, I've got to put some new fuel filters on. I'm sure those are fine, but I don't want to take the chance. put some of this Yama Shield. If you don't have any of this, it's rust and corrosion protection. It's also a lubricant. Spray it on your engines at bare minimum. Anything that has contact with salt water. I like to spray it on my axles and cross members on my trailer as well. But I'm going to spray it on the fuel tank pickup that I just cleaned off. The vent tube for the actual drain tube for the motor is clogged up, so I've got a little bit of a welding wire here. I'm going to see if I can unclog it. I don't have any fuel line hooked to this, so whatever that bump was residual either gas in the engine, or I sprayed the intake fluid out with some carb cleaner, so that's as well. First official startup, we'll see what happened. I got the fuel lines hooked up, starter, of course water. I think I primed it, all new fuel and water separators, so wish me luck. Alright, we got a success, one engine down. Turn our attention to the other. Hopefully I don't kill myself coming down here. Well, yesterday we got several things done. We drained the gas, of course lubricated the cylinders before fire up, and blew it out. So took out all the spark plugs out. Well, first, before taking the spark plugs out, washed the cylinders down really good and blew them out, the outside, and then took the spark plugs out and blew inside, and also hit it with some type of lubricant in the cylinder. I believe I used WD-40 there. Temporarily ran the wiring harness, so you probably saw the harness kind of strolled across the boat. I did that strategically. I didn't want to put a ton of energy just in case the motors were bad. So I didn't want to exert energy if I didn't have to, but we did get them started up, so that was exciting. So today we're going to do a few things, right? So we're going to install the batteries. We're going to permanently install the wiring harness for the engines itself. We're going to install the steering lines, bleed those out. And if we have time today, we're going to change out the water pump, change the engine oil and the lower unit oil. So join along. So I tied a pull string on these control cables just so it's easier to get that one line through your rigging tube, and then you can start pulling back and forth based off this pull string. I like to tape these lines up as they go through. It'll just help in the process. Now I'm going to try to use the same conduit for the engine wiring harness. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, so this is going to be a trial and error for sure. Now this boat, I believe it had Yamaha's command link system in it. I didn't know it until I had already bought all the analog components. So we're doing a conversion at the same time here. All right. So I had to remove this fuel latch. To reseal this, but mainly to pump out that old fuel. So I'm going to reseal this hatch real fast. And I'm just using marine grade silicone. Now I'm going to run a separate power wire from the house battery to the console itself. This will be unfused, but I'm going to set up a fuse panel inside the console. All right, it is time to changed the water pump on both of these engines. Got to figure out how to keep them upright while I'm changing it out, so bear with me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this All right, so I got the Helix 9 down, and I'll move on to the 7. There's not a lot of margin for error on the 7. So this is the PVC board that I got off Amazon. I don't know how well it's going to hold up. It's got a matte finish, which is fine. So I'm just going to lay this out. So once again, this will be on the front. So I'm cutting from the back to the front here. Material. So that's basically what it's going to look like. So I got the new dash panel up. I am just going to take out as much material as I need to out of the existing one. So this is kind of an overlay. I thought it was a more denser board, but it's not. I may come back and get the ABS version of this. So basically all I'm going to do is just kind of trace around the areas that needs to come out. Then I'll take my jigsaw and cut the rest of that out. So here we go, we're going to get to cutting. Kind of the finished product. So I think I'm going to have to trim that out, but we'll give it a shot. Actually, it turned out pretty good. So that's what it's going to look like in product. So we got the Helix 9, the 7, the tacks, and the fuel management gauge. I still got to figure out how to connect this. I'm not using the Yamaha's command link in this boat. I do have most of the setup, but just not planning on using it right now. Well, today is the day we're taking the Clearwater 2300 out for kind of a shakedown. Nowhere close to being done. We have tons of work to do. As you can see, we still got to buff out the whole boat. Didn't touch the back. We still got quite a ways to go on this, but got the engines mounted, tested. So we're gonna have a good time. See you out on the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I got the 2018 Clearwater 2300 in the water for the first time. I got John Bamman with me. We may die today, but hey, we lived a good life.
Gilligan's Island.
We'll see how it goes. So this is just a shakedown test just to see what works, what doesn't. I know I got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of fit and finish stuff, but should be a good time. We got a 20 mile per hour, 15 to 20 mile per hour wind, so we're going to stay pretty close to land just in case bad stuff happens. So see you out on the water. I think I got my throttles backwards, which I don't know how that's possible.
So down is going forward.
Yeah.
Remember it.
Testing of the new 2300 boat went fairly well. There's a few things that we need to work on. One, the live well system. Something's wrong with that, as well as the roll system. Overall, The quality of the rod was pretty decent. We attempted to catch some fish at the same time, and leave a comment in a comment section if you think catfish is deserving to go on the scoreboard. But if so, this guy won 2-0. I didn't catch a single fish today, but he caught 2 catfish. He's been bragging for 30 minutes. But anyway, we're gonna get back on the trailer and get back home. Thanks for watching.